In Agulu, a town surrounded by rolling hills and ancient streams, lay the village of Obeagu, known for its rich farmlands and brave warriors. Obeagu was a place where tradition was revered above all. Yet, it became a land where the scorned rose to greatness, where bastard ruled and flourished beyond imagination. This legacy, born of struggle, defiance, and divine decree, began with a woman named Mgbankwo and her son Obinna. Mgbankwo was the first wife of Ochiara, a warrior celebrated for his triumphs in battle. His name was spoken with respect throughout Agulu and neighboring towns. Yet Ochiara carried a soul that even his victories could not erase. He had no children to carry on his name. Mgbankwo loved her husband deeply, but the wish was of her barrenness cut like a knife. In time, under pressure from family and tradition, Ochiara married other women in hopes of having children. One by one, these women left, unable to bear the weight of fulfilled expectations. Only Mgbankwo remained, standing by her husband with unwavering devotion. Their love endured through tragedy. One fateful day, Ochiara fell from a towering palm tree, breaking his back. His health deteriorated rapidly, and as he lay dying, he held Mgbankwo's hand and said, "Promise me, Mgbankwo, promise you'll never leave our home or let my name be forgotten." Mgbankwo swore it, tears streaming down her face, and Ochiara passed away, leaving her alone in a world eager to erase his legacy. While in mourning, her brother-in-law Amadi had approached her with an offer. "Why struggle, Mgbankwo? Marry me. I will care for you and you will have children for me. Let me help you prove to the people that you are not barren." Mgbankwo looked him in the eye and said, "I am not a piece of land to be owned. I love my husband, and I will honor his memory. I do not need you." Her rejection spread through the village, sparking rumors. Some said Ochiara, for all his strength in battle, was not a real man, since he could not father a child. A few months after mourning her husband, her family came to take her back home, but she refused. She told them her home was with Ochiara, whether dead or alive. Friends and relatives tried to make her see reasons to go home. "You are still young and beautiful, Mgbankwo. Perhaps if you return home, you will remarry and bear children. All your mates who left have all remarried and have given birth. Do not waste your time since Ochiara is gone." But she turned deaf ears. "I will stay. I belong to Ochiara." After years of mourning, Mgbankwo visited her sister in a neighboring village. There, in a moment of vulnerability, she found herself in the arms of a man she barely knew. When she returned to Obeagu, she discovered she was with child. The news spread like wildfire. Some celebrated her unexpected fortune, while others gossiped cruelly. Her late husband's relatives were furious. They had begun dividing Ochiara's land among themselves, confident that Mgbankwo, childless and alone, could not contest their claims. A child, especially a boy, threatened their plans. When Obinna was born, they mocked him as a bastard, barring him from his rightful inheritance and denying him the privileges of Umurili, Ochiara's noble lineage. Obinna's childhood was marked by rejection. During a village wrestling contest, he defeated an older boy, earning cheers from the crowd. But the boy, humiliated, spat angrily, "You are just a bastard. Who are you to celebrate?" The other children echoed the insult, chanting, "Bastard, bastard," until Obinna fled. His victory turned into shame. On another occasion, while he and his mother tied a small piece of land, Ochiara's brother Amadi stormed in. "What are you doing here?" Amadi demanded. "This is my father's land. Obinna said firmly. Amadi sneered. Your father. Which one? The dead warrior or the faceless man who made you? This land belongs to the living, not bastards born of shame. He chased them off the land, leaving Obinna in tears. Mama, he cried, why do they hate me? Why do they call me a bastard and say I do not belong? Mgbankwo pulled him close, her heart breaking at his pain. My son, she said, the world is cruel to those it does not understand. But you are not a bastard. You are the heart of your father. I will make them see. The next morning, Mgbankwo wrapped herself in a red cloth and walked barefoot to the shrine of Ngwu, the village deity of justice. Ngwu, the village god of Obeagu, was known as the god of justice, truth, and fairness. People from Obeagu and nearby villages respected and feared Ngwu. The god was believed to live in a giant, ancient tree with thick roots that seemed to hold the ground firmly. The tree stood in the middle of a quiet grove, and its bark has natural markings that looked like old symbols. The shrine of Ngwu was simple but sacred. People brought offerings like white chalk, cowries, and red cloths to show respect. A priest served as the messenger between the god and the villagers. Ngwu was known for delivering quick and fair judgments. Those who disrespected the gods faced terrible consequences, while those who approached with a pure heart found justice and protection. The villagers believed Ngwu could see everything, with its roots reaching deep into the earth to uncover the truths people tried to hide. No one dared to lie or act unjustly in Ngwu's name. Kneeling before the sacred tree, Mgbankwo poured libations and raised her voice. Ngwu, spirit of truth, hear my cry. My son is innocent, yet they mock him. They call him a bastard and steal what is rightfully his. I have kept my husband's name alive as I promised. Fight for us, Ngwu, as Ocha would have fought. The scorn reached its tipping point when the members of Cha's kindred supported Ocha's brother and ignored Mgbankwo's plea for justice, leaving her and Obinna destitute. But their arrogance soon drew the wrath of Ngwu, the village deity of justice. The rains stopped. For weeks, the sky remained barren, and the sun blazed mercilessly. Streams dried up, crops withered, and the air became so stifling that people avoided stepping outdoors. The elders gathered at the square, their faces etched with fear. This is not natural, said Ifeme, the oldest elder. Ngwu is angry. They sent emissaries to the shrine of Ngwu to inquire what had provoked the god's wrath. The priest, his face grave, emerged from the shrine and announced, Ngwu is angered by the injustice done to a child of Umojana and tainted the name of a warrior. For this I decree, from this day forth, the bastards of Obeagu shall rise above the freeborns. They shall rule this land, and their wealth shall surpass all others. Every village that bears the name Obeagu shall follow this tradition, and from them shall emerge kings and leaders who will be the pride of Igbo land. You have mocked a widow who honored her husband's name and scorned her son. This is why the rains have ceased. Until the wrongs are righted, Ngwu's anger will burn upon this land. The villagers had no choice but to comply. They gathered at the square, where the elders decreed that all of Ochia's lands be returned to Obinna. The relatives who had seized them were fined heavily and forced to perform public cleansing rites. The priest demanded that the entire kindred family of Ochiara take responsibility for bringing such doom upon Obeagu. They were made to sacrifice goats, yams, and palm wine to appease Ngwu. This is your doing, one villager hissed at Amadi. If not for your greed, you would not have suffered. Others joined in, shaming the kindred for their arrogance. As the sacrifices were completed, dark clouds gathered over Obeagu. That evening, rain fell in torrents, soaking the parched earth and renewing the villagers' souls. The people, chastened by Ngo's wrath, began to see Obinna differently. The boy, once mocked as a bastard, grew into a man of wisdom and strength. He became a prosperous trader, his wealth surpassing that of his former tormentors. When the time came to choose a new leader, the oracle declared that Obinna was king, not despite his origin, but because of it. Under Obinna's reign, Obeagu flourished. Ngo's decree that bastard will rise above the freeborn spread beyond Agulu. As the people of Obeagu spread into neighboring towns and settled, they naturally assumed positions of leadership, for they carry the blessings of Ngo wherever they go. This is why in every town across Igbo land, where the village of Obeagu exists, they are recognized as both kings and kingmakers. To this day, the story of Mgbankwo and Obinna is told as a reminder that the God sits beyond bloodlines. In rejection, there is redemption, and in struggle, there is strength. Obeagu remained a testament to the power of justice and the resilience of the human spirit.